It's your boy NASA Pat. One of the biggest feedback comments I've been getting on these videos is that I need to be looking at the camera, so I'm gonna do my best to keep my eyes here. It's kind of weird because it's like I'm not even talking to nobody, I'm talking to myself, but it's so awkward. But yeah, now today I'm gonna talk to you guys about just, I guess it's not my experience, but I seen it happen first time. I'm talking to you about three of my friends, three people that I grew up with at certain points in my life, different points, some in high school, college, post-college. And one thing that all of these individuals had in common is that they came into a large amount of money relatively quickly. So I got this friend in high school, he came up 7 figures, went broke. I got a friend, and then I had two other friends from college. One came up maybe like half a mil, went broke, and the other came up like 300K, also went broke. So, I'm going to talk about all these stories, well, these individuals and their stories. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, people lie, but firsthand, I seen each one of them come into a crazy check, no cap. And, I'm going to talk a little bit about it, but just also talk about like the things they did that made them go broke. And usually it's jewelry, cars, women, lifestyle. And these are people who lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I mean, when you think of 100 bands or $100,000, it's a lot of money. But at the same time, when you think of a salary making 100K, do you look at that as a lot of money when it's really the same thing? And I mean, yeah, taxes 30%, but 100 bands in cash, 100K salary is very similar. And if you don't know what to do with either or, if your spending outweighs the money coming in, you're gonna go broke. The money's gonna go down. I just read something today that it's talking about how people who make money fast usually lose the money even faster. And that doesn't need to be the case. I'm sure there's people who came into some money who was able to grow it, watch their lifestyles, but let's get into the story. So I'm not gonna use any names because it's embarrassing to say, yo, I was a millionaire and now I'm broke. But I mean, I feel like in every situation they did something to keep a part of their wealth, but they just didn't do enough. And now they have to live a life of saying like, yo, I was a millionaire, yo, I ran up 300 bands in a month, or I ran up a half a million in 2 months, and I don't have a fraction of what I saw, which is, in my opinion, embarrassing. So like I said, my friend, 18, parent passed away, came into a lot of money. I'm guessing it was supposed to come into like a monthly situation where they gave him a certain amount of money every month for like the rest of his life or a certain time period. But instead, he decided that the money wasn't coming in fast enough, and he wanted a large payment. So I'm guessing like when companies know that you're receiving some type of annuity or you have some type of money coming in monthly, they'll reach out to you. And for them, it's like, we'll give you a large sum right now, but we want those payments, because for them, anything about money is that, it costs. So I'll give you this amount of money right now for a price. Like, it's not free. I'm not doing you a favor. Like, I'm a business. I'm trying to make money. And then I'll take those annuity payments for the next 10, 20, 30 years. And to me, it's funny because he did do some smart things. Like, he copped a condo, but it's also the dumb things, like the jewelry, the cars, spending money on women. Like, I remember him telling me about how he like basically paid for his girl to live for like 2 years, put her through school. I think it was like nursing school, and she left him. Like, he went broke. She realized he was broke and he had it, and she left him. And to me, it's just like, damn. Like, and even now, dealing with him, talking with him, I know he goes through a lot of mental issues, because to be on a high, to be a person who's like, yo, I'm a millionaire, I came up a million at 18, to now being 35, double that age, and don't have a fraction. And I think in his case, he mentioned that, like, his payments will pick back up. He only sold it for like a decade or 15 years. So he does still have some money coming in. And thank God, because, that would be a sad story to know that, like, yo, you turned 18 years old, you came up. You ain't have the million at once, but they let you know, like, yo, you're up. And you decided to go do dumb shit with the money. And yes, he copped a condo, so he got a place to live. But, with condos, co-ops, houses, you got to pay taxes and insurance. So if you're not working, if you're not getting to it, you're not making it make sense. Like, yeah, you're living for free, but you still got to come out of pocket some type of amount. And now I just want to talk about my second homie. He came with 500K. His process was a little bit, I don't really want to talk about how he came with the 500K because it was kind of shady, but it happens. This is need another dollar always. So everybody isn't going to get money from a job or real estate or starting a business. There's so many different ways, legal, illegal, and it's just what it is. So my boy scammed his way to the top, half a ticket, you feel me, 500K. I remember him opening up his laptop and showing me the 500K, and I was just like, damn, like, for real, off the scam, 500K? Shit was crazy. I was like, damn, this man is going to jail. And I mean, he ended up going to jail, not for the crime. And that's what I realized too. Like, a lot of times these people who do illegal stuff, they get locked up, but not necessarily for the thing that they run it up on. So it's like crazy, like, yo, you ran it up, busting checks, but then you get locked for a gun and got to do 7, 8 years. So it's like, it just be funny, or like, you ran it up, whatever, you did fraud, why, whatever, and then you get locked up because of something silly. Like, you feel me? Like, not even the thing that you actually was doing that could get you the time, but something completely separate. And usually it's a gun charge, usually it's drugs, usually like sometimes you be driving a car that was stolen and someone sold it to you for a cheaper price, but you know what it is, like you're not retarded, like you might not know the details, but you know, so in his case, he definitely got locked after he came up to $500,000, but it's just what he spent the bread on. And I remember at the time, it was like COVID time, so everybody was getting a Protect, everyone was getting an AP, everyone was getting a bust down Rolly. And for me, you know, I've been getting to the bread since I was like 15. So when I see a bunch of stuff, like yeah, I get excited, but at the same time, I know something always comes with this. Like it's never that sweet. It's never like, yo, you know. So I knew what it was. I definitely tapped into the situation because you know I need that bread too. But for me, it was like, you know, I'm not gonna go too crazy because at the end of the day, like I don't like jail. I've been to jail before. I ain't never going to jail back. I went to jail for a few hours and I realized this shit is not for me. For me, ain't no joints in there. The food is trash. There's roaches and rats. It's cold. No sweaters. You can't wear no shoelaces. There ain't no alcohol in there. There ain't no butt in there. Jail is not for me. I've been through that. I went there a couple times, whether it was like a suspended license. When I got shot, I got locked up the same day. And I just, every time I'm there, I'm like, yo, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I'm not saying I'm gonna go snitch, but I am not going to jail. Jail is not for me. But back to his story, ran up to 500K, immediately went and got a, what was it? It was maybe a bust down car year. And at the time, it was like 20, 30 bands. Went and got the AMG C-Class Benz, which it's like, why would you get a C-Class AMG? But that's like for girls, but that's just my opinion. But just as soon as they seen the money, had to spend it. And mind you, this person, mom's is a doctor, pops is in IT, good family. Yeah, it might be separated family, but good family, like didn't need to be in the streets at all. Chose to do these things and, you know, leverage his network to get more clients, to commit more, whatever, to make more bread. And just me seeing him go from 500K, spend 100 mad quick, get locked, move to California and try to be a trader. And now if you just see him and see his motion, he's broke. Like might be on his last 100. And I mean, I guess that's not broke to a lot of people, but if you seen 500K and you had the capability at 500K, you could have made moves at 500K, and then you decided like, yo, I ain't gonna work no more. I'm gonna chill. I made it. I generational run, blah, blah, blah. Cat, bro. Should have kept his job. Should have kept focused on what he was doing, what was making him money, because, you know, you get too big in your head and you just lose it all. So shout out to him losing, you know, probably down to his last 100K from a $500,000 versus focusing on the other way game, real estate, investing in businesses, investing in other people around him, making moves. But you live and you learn. All these people that I'm talking about is pretty young. The oldest one is 35. So, I mean, if you did it once, supposedly you could do it again. And then my third homie, this one was crazy. Like, I don't know if y'all remember COVID, 2019, 2020, during GameStop. If you was trading options at the time, GameStop just went on an incredible run. Like, it was crazy. I watched my homie go from 8,000 to 30,000 to 300,000 in a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. Could have been more than 2 weeks. He was broke. And you know, during COVID, nobody was paying their rent because, well, in DC, no one was paying their rent because there was something where if you lived in DC, they would pay your rent, especially if you got fired from your job. But you didn't even need to have a job initially. Like, they was just paying people rent left and right because nobody was paying their rent. Nobody was trying to. The city was shut down. Everybody was on unemployment. And I saw my man's run up 300K off of an options play. And I mean, it wasn't one play, it was multiple plays. He definitely, you know, knew what he was doing. But does he have 300K now? Absolutely not. And I saw him run up to 300K. Now, I promise you, this was my homie. So at the time, you know, I had a bunch of whips. I had the IA, I had the G-Wag, I had the Porsche, I had the S5, I had the C100, I had the GLC. I had just mad whips. I was doing Turo, I was renting cars out. So this is my homie. I'm giving him cars $50. If you want the G-Wag, $50, IA, $50. Once you clean it up, bring it back, it's all good. If he in my ear like, yo, bro, we gonna get cars together. So, you know, I'm thinking like, yo, we building. Like, you feel me? I'm giving him a little discount. As soon as he came up, switched up on him. And honestly, that was cool. I'm not even tripping about the switch up because every dog has a day. And you feel me? Like, you're gonna miss your blessings counting the next man's blessings. But it was just crazy to me that as soon as he came with 300K, he like, yeah, bro, we gonna get a whip together. We're gonna do this business together. Next day, we ain't got to Protect 60,000 going. And I'm like, damn, you just made 300 and you just spent 60 of the 300 like that. And then he goes and gets a Porsche. And I mean, I know he didn't put the cash out on the Porsche. It was like a newer Porsche or whatever. But he definitely had to do like a 20, 30 band down payment. So mind you just came up 300. You now up 200 2 weeks later. Broke right now. Don't got no 200, no 300. You feel me? At the end of the day, like I said, all these people I'm talking about is young, so they can definitely get it back. But it just shows you, like, yo, when your time comes and your bag comes, if you're not ready for it, you're gonna fumble it. It's just like a bad bitch. Like, if you're not ready for the bad bitch when she comes, you're gonna fumble it, and that's just what it is. So you feel me? Like, this is not to point at anybody or make fun of anybody or anything of that sort. Like, I believe if you did it once, you could do it again. But you got to be smart with your funds, and you know the people around you. You never know. Like, yo, 3 different people. Yes, it was like mad time in between, but really not that much time. But I just literally seen people run up hundreds of bands. 300K in 2020 is like damn near 600K now. 500K in 2020 is damn near like $1 million right now. So the amount of things that they could have done at that time frame when the world was stopped and invested and caught mad different investments for the low ski, it's like, yo, they silly. And mind you, they both was in finance. Well, 2 out of the 3 was in finance, like knew about trading, knew about stocks, knew about investing to a certain degree, and still fumbled the bag. You feel me? So hopefully y'all take these little situations and don't do what they did when you get your bag and you get the opportunity to go crazy. And that's just, you know, my opinion on the situation. And, you know, thank you for lock it in with me. If you could like, comment, subscribe, and just tell somebody about the page. I got a lot of things coming. And thank you for watching my video. Over and out.